Okay, man, this is so exciting. Okay, so I'm on three different screens at one time, and so this is gonna be a lot for my poor brain to take in. So just bear with me if you see me looking around at different screens. So I got Instagram right here, so hello Instagram. Got Facebook right here, hello Facebook, and I have YouTube right here. So hey YouTube. So um, anyway, so I'm just gonna jump in. I'm gonna give people a couple seconds here to get on. Sorry, I'm running a little bit late. It took me forever to figure out the YouTube live stuff, and I didn't like the lighting, so I had to find a lamp and use that. So on my screens, it looks like Instagram is nice, Facebook's okay, and YouTube seems really dark. So if that's what it's like on your end, I'm very sorry. Hey, Rodney, Jennifer, I'm not sure which one is waving at me, but I'll two waves. Awesome. So, oh no, that's not good. Why did my phone camera jump? There we go. Okay, that was weird. That was my Instagram camera flipped around the other way, so that was kind of weird. Hey, Sherry. Man, it keeps doing that. Okay, that's kind of weird. Let's see. You stay here. There we go. Okay. So Instagram, I'm sorry if it keeps flipping around. I'll just keep hitting the button, and we'll just see what happens. So hey, it looks like we have some people on here. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in. Like I said, first, my name's Clay. So if we have not met, that's who I am. So I'm a music minister on staff here at Meadowdale. So if we've not met, it's good to meet you. Man, my phone is going crazy over here on Instagram. I'm gonna be right back. I'm just gonna end this and then come back in and see what's going on here. Let's see. In now. All right, we're gonna delete the video because I don't know what was going on there. Sorry, y'all. My phone goes all kinds of crazy. So, man, so YouTube and Facebook, y'all are getting some secret footage here that Instagram's not. So you should feel very, very lucky right now. Hey, Sandy. All right, let's see. Let me go. Man, there's some times where I feel like I'm really technologically savvy, and sometimes I feel like I'm not at all. And it's really sad to me. Okay, cool. We're back on Instagram. So hopefully people can jump back in. But anyway, so I'm just going to jump right in. So I've already introduced who I am. So if you don't know that, you can rewind the video later. So I'm going to jump right in. I just want to give you guys an update on what's going on since we don't really get to have in-person anything right now. I think that it's a really important thing that we stay as connected as possible. So I'm going to jump right in and give some announcements of a few things. We're going to talk about us reopening and kind of what that looks like, and then we're going to jump into something that I'm curious to see how it goes. We're going to jump into a live Q&A, so you can ask me whatever you want, and I'm going to try my best to answer it. So we'll see how that goes. So first, I just want to jump in and give a few announcements. So number one, our pastor search team, they are still meeting. Thank goodness for them. They're still talking to each other. I believe they're meeting through some digital means as well, but they're still meeting. They're still working. And the updates that I'm hearing, things are progressing along very well. They believe they're really narrowing down on those final candidates there. So it's really exciting that they're really progressing in a really good way. I can't wait to hear what they've got for us. And so hopefully whenever we do get to meet back, they'll have some updates for us. So I'm excited for that. But I just wanted to reassure you that people are still, they're still working. They're still talking to people. They're still meeting together. So anyway, on to the second one. So something that I'm really excited about, if you watch the vlog from this past Friday, we started recording a new video series that we're going to call Meadowdale Midweek. And so what that is basically it's an not interactive, it's more of a practical Bible study. And so Mark Waters is going to dive into a book of the Bible and just kind of take us through chapter by chapter or verse by verse, or kind of however he's able to break it up in the amount of time that he has, and just really find some practical advice for us out of those. And so I'm really excited. So the first video of that is going to air tomorrow, which is a Wednesday at 7 p.m. So we'll have that premiere on our Facebook and our YouTube. So make sure to check that out. It's going to be I'm really excited. It's going to be a really cool thing. I've been going through and editing it today, and it's every time I listen to it, I'm just like, man, there's some really good stuff in here. So if you see Mark digitally, give him a like or a thumbs up, or just say, hey, thanks for what you're doing, because it's really good stuff. I can't wait for y'all to check that out. So then the hot topic, right? So the last thing that we're going to talk about is, or the last announcement rather, is the question of what is our first service back? When is it going to be, and what's it going to look like? So our staff, we met about it Monday. It's yesterday. Gosh, these days all run together on me. So we met as a staff yesterday, and we've been meeting the last few weeks, but we've been really talking through this idea of what it's going to look like for us to reopen. The deacons have met as well. And so right now, our official stance, our official answer is we don't know. We're not fully sure yet of what the exact date is going to be. We don't want to rush back into this. We want to make sure that we're doing this the right way. We want to make sure that the timing and everything is right. So right now, we still don't know when we're going to have our first service back in person. So I wanted to kind of go through a few things that we as a staff have talked about, and just kind of just hit on some topics that we're really going through and talking about as we're trying to figure out when is the right time to come back. So the first thing, and this, should go without saying, but everyone's safety is our top priority for this. We would love to be back. I miss everybody. I miss getting the chance to be around everybody, but we want to make sure that everybody's being as safe as possible. And so that's the number one thing that we're trying to wait and see how things progress and what happens before we just kind of jump into something blind. Number two is just making sure that and this kind of ties back to number one, but cleanliness, making sure that our facilities are clean, that things make sense from a logistical standpoint, but also just from a sanitary standpoint. It's not easy. It'd be a lot of work, but it's possible that, and we would do it to make sure that everything is clean before you got there. We can do that. Where the challenge comes into play is keeping things clean while everybody's there. And so having to constantly, kind of go behind people or make sure that, and just constantly keep things clean. That's a challenge that we're talking through right now, that we're still trying to figure out how we're going to tackle as a church staff and leadership team. The third thing is kids' environments. I don't know if you've ever tried to keep kids 6 feet apart, or if you've ever tried to tell kids to cover their cough. It can be a challenge. Sometimes kids have a mind of their own, and they can get a little wily at times. And so that's something that we're really weighing in as well, because we want to make sure that families have a place to go. And if you can't, there's nowhere for your kids to be, it can be really just a stressful time sometimes. The fourth thing is this idea of social distancing, and my goodness, and this is awesome. I'm a very touchy-feely person. I'm from a family of huggers. It's in my blood. It's just what we are. And so that Meadowdale we just all love to hug each other. And that sounds kind of weird. I feel like I should put a caveat to that. We love being able to be close to each other, be able to high five each other as we're walking in, shake hands and hug. It's just who we are as people of Meadowdale. And so knowing that that's how we are, we're talking through what it's going to look like for us to be forced to be at least 6 feet apart from each other while we're going through this. So that's something that's just a challenge, something that we have to work through. And that kind of leads me into the last thing that we've really been talking about as a staff is, so if we need to be careful with the social distancing, to me, our Sunday morning gatherings, our Wednesday night whenever we gather, whatever day of the week it is, our gatherings are meant for us to be able to be together and to fellowship together, which is a churchy word for hang out and get to just worship God together, to get to talk, to get to laugh. And that's what our gatherings are all about. And so if we can't do that, it can be really challenging. And so there's there's things that we're trying to work through on those fronts. And so, of course, this is not an exhaustive list. This is not, every single little detail that we're talking about. But those are the things that we're really wanting to make sure we have nailed down. Just a handful of the things we're really trying to make sure that we have nailed down. So with all of that said, I want to just quickly thank each and every one of you. So thank everybody who is continuing to give during this time. This time is pretty scary. It's pretty uncertain. I know the word unprecedented has been thrown around so many times, right? It's a scary time. And it's also, for people like me, it's a sad time, because I want to be able to be around all of you. I want to be able to be around people again and go to my favorite restaurants and get out and be able to hang out with people. But we just can't do that quite yet right now. And so thank you so much for the ones who are continuing to give and support our mission here at Meadowdale. Even though it's sad that our services aren't happening, I don't have the metrics right here in front of me, but y'all, we are reaching crazy numbers of people with our online services, our online platforms, our posts, all that kind of stuff. We're reaching so many people that we never would have the opportunity to reach if we just stayed, inside those walls. And so thank you so much for allowing us the opportunity, for supporting us in this vision and this mission that we're on. The second thing, thank you all so much for watching and for tuning in. It's crazy. I'm looking at all the little the eye icons telling me how people are watching me right now, and it's just crazy. So thank you all so much for tuning in and watching the stuff we put up on a weekly basis. And thank you for the ones who share and invite. I've heard this so many times, but it really is true. This is such an easy time to invite people to church, right? It's so much easier to be able to just check out a church's video or their live stream and not have to, that fear of walking into a place you've never been before, making sure that you're ready and you look a certain way. With our digital services that we're doing right now, people can just stay in their bed. They don't have to get out of bed, which is awesome. And so thank y'all so much for sharing and inviting people to check out our services. It's just been really incredible to see the amount of people who are viewing our stuff, and to see the amount of I think Facebook mostly, or whoever, the impressions that it has, which is basically how many accounts have seen it and how much has been interacted with and all that kind of stuff. I don't fully understand the algorithms; are kind of all over the place, but it's been really cool to see how that's gone. And the last thing, I just want to thank y'all so much for loving this community. I've seen so many examples where people have gone out of their way to help people. People have gone out of their way to just show this community love. And so that idea that we have of believing in Gordon County, y'all are acting that out. Y'all are living that out. And so thank you so much for doing that. That's what it's all about, right? That we're going out and we're showing our community that we are for them, that we support them. So it's just such an incredible thing to see that happening. So thank you all so much for everyone that's just thank you, everyone. It's been such an incredible, it's been a weird last few weeks, but it's been an incredible few weeks to see just the impact and what all's happened throughout this time. So I'm going to jump in. Does anybody have, and we're going to jump into a time of questions and answers, Q&A. So I have never really done this before. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen. But yeah, so does anybody have any questions that I can answer? So I think if you just type in the comment or whatever, I should be able to see it. So I think I saw a question pop up here earlier. Let's see, where'd it go? Oh yeah, so Sandy asked, what have I learned these last 6 weeks? Sandy, what have I not learned? It's probably a shorter answer. This has been such an incredible time. So I like technology. I believe that technology can help us accomplish our mission as a church in ways that if we didn't use it, we never would be able to. And so the fact that we've now kind of been forced to use technology to our with what we do is such a cool thing. And so I would say the biggest thing that I've learned these last few weeks is a lot about video. I've learned a lot about lighting and video setup and all that kind of stuff that I never thought I would. I didn't think I would need for a while. And so it's been really cool getting to learn how lighting works and how cameras work and how the video editing side of things, those programs and learning all of that. That's been really cool. But there's a YouTube channel that I follow, and the guy who runs it, his big quote is, or one of the things he says, or let me phrase this properly. So one of the questions that he poses to churches that he works with, and just churches in general, is how would you as a church, and when I say you as a church, obviously we are the church, right? Like the church is a building, but we are the church. How would you as a church accomplish your mission if you didn't have your Sunday morning service? And that question to me is so is so heavy, because there's so many things, there's so many factors that go into that. But it's been really cool that we've kind of had to live that out, right? We haven't been able to meet in person, so it's been really neat to see just the people's response, people's reactions to that. So that was a really long-winded answer, Sandy, but yeah. So I learned a lot about video and a lot about just kind of and just growing in how we accomplish our mission. So yeah, okay. So do we have any other questions? Any questions at all? Facebook's giving me a weird notification here, I think. Oh, there we go. Ricky asked me which bear is best. And that's an Office quote. I wish that I can hear my dogs barking in the background. I wish that I knew the Dwight quote of how to answer what bear is best. But I guess if I have to answer what bear I think is best, I guess I would say grizzly. I don't know. That sounds good. Sure, why not? Okay, awesome. So do we have any other questions? I feel kind of feel vulnerable and really just kind of out there right now, that I'm just like, hey, I'm on here. Ask me whatever you want, and I'll try to answer. Well, we'll see. All right, let's see. Okay. There we go, Ricky. Thank you for clarifying. It's false. Black bear is the answer. I was going between grizzly and black bear, if that helps. I feel like you still would have told me false, no matter what, no matter what I said. But okay. Awesome. Well, hey, Meaderdale, thank you so much for just being you. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you for just the constant encouragements that y'all are sending our staff's way and our deacons' way and the rest of our leadership team. We really appreciate it. Before I, oh, sorry, I don't know if that's Nathan or Amy. So it says be to do. So it's an old summer camp that I played at. It's basically kind of that the idea that if oh my gosh, I'm gonna try to I'm looking at it, it's backwards on my screen here, so I'm struggling to read it there. But yeah, so it says be to do. It talks about how a lot of times it's that phrase of do to be, and so we try to we see our value in what we do and the works that we try to accomplish. And so a lot of times we let the work that we do define who we are. But being a Christ follower is the opposite of that. Because we are children of God, we have eternal life, and we are no longer slaves to sin. And we have the ability to show love to people in a very, I would say unworldly way, I guess, if that's a word. I don't know. Sounds good. But yeah, so that's what that theme was. It was from a summer camp from a few years ago. It was a whitewater rafting trip, which is why it looks like a raft, if you can see that. There we go. But yeah, okay. Well, cool. Sandy, thank you so much. Yeah, we definitely appreciate your prayers. It's been a crazy time for sure. And know that we as a staff and a leadership team are praying for every single one of you as well. We can't wait to get back together. We can't wait for the opportunity for us to be able to gather together again. But we know the day's coming. It's soon. We know that. But we just don't know exactly when. So just to give you some, if any other questions pop up, I'll answer them as they go. But I wanted to try to keep this video a little bit shorter because I can get long-winded and just say the same thing over and over again. And if nobody's here to stop me, then I would be on here probably until about 10 o'clock. So just to recap, so right now we don't have a date of when we're coming back yet. We don't want to rush it. We know there are some churches that are opening their doors. They're starting services early, and if we know and we believe that that's what they believe is best for them, and we totally support them in that. But for us, we want to make sure that we make the best decision that we can. With the knowledge that we have and the best decision for our church. So as of right now, we do not have a date to go back. From what I'm hearing and kind of some conversations that we're having, we don't think it'll be in the next couple of weeks. We want to see how, as things start to reopen, as things start to slowly get back to normal, that we're able to kind of see what what responds from that, what happens. So just bear with us. It is something we are constantly, I would say on a daily basis, keeping up with what's going on and what's happening. But definitely, if you ever have any questions or if you're ever curious, just shoot us a message on any of these platforms, on YouTube or on Facebook, on Instagram. Just let us know if you have any questions at all, and we'll be more than happy to answer them for you. But church, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for just being you. It's an incredible honor that we get to all do this thing together, right? That we get to see this mission of seeing our area, seeing Gordon County and beyond know Jesus and grow in him. It's just such an incredible thing that we get to be a part of. And so thank you. I hope that everyone is doing well. And I believe I'm going to sign off at this point. I don't see any questions. I think we're okay. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, we're good. Let's see. Okay, we're good. All right. Okay. Well, I think that's it. So if you had a question that you were just dying to ask and you didn't get a chance to, just comment on the video afterwards, and maybe, just maybe, I'll respond. We'll see. But thank y'all so much for tuning in, and yeah, I look forward to seeing you all very soon. But just a reminder before I sign off, tomorrow at 7 p.m., we're going to be launching our first Meadowdale midweek video. So make sure to check that out on our YouTube and on our Facebook, Instagram. And maybe we can figure out a really fun way to put it on there. So maybe you'll get to see it too, Instagram. But anyway, so just make sure you're following us on those platforms. And yeah, we'll see you all very soon. Okay, now is the awkward time of me stopping all the streams here. Okay, so YouTube, I'm just gonna say bye. I'm gonna see you and end. There we go.